Welcome on into Logan Lives in the comments. I'm Logan Paulsen here with Fred Smoot, a guy who lies about everything, and Santana Moss is a guy I got the utmost respect for. Let me get a little dap, Tana. Appreciate it. No, get out of here with that. Here we go. Let's get this show started. I think Fred, you got the first question.
I actually got it. I actually got it. All right, man, the first question. Logan.
Yep.
With the screen game potentially being the bigger part of our offense this year, how do you think our offensive linemen will handle those types of plays?
Well, I think this is an easy one, so it's going to be short. Keep it nice and tight. So what I think is, like, we got some really athletic guards. We got Cosby, who was like one of the most athletic offensive linemen of the year. He was drafted at an RAS score of like 9.5, which is crazy good. Sadiq Charles, converted tackle, crazy athlete. In training camp, during OTAs, you see these guys getting out in space. Wiley, also very athletic. Leno's not a bad athlete in his own right. And then Gates did something like this, something similar. A lot of gap scheme, pulling stuff, moving in space when he was in New York. So I think if those guys remain the starters, and there's still a long time left to go, I think their skill sets fit that really, really well. So I think if EB can get it coached up, which we know that he can, we've seen already kind of the early stages of that, I think we're going to be in a really, really, really good spot with these guys because their athleticism fits that. Unlike last year, right, where we had some older guys, not really their cup of tea. This group definitely much better for their skill set.
Yeah, being athletic is real key at that position.
I think so
especially
too.
For screens and stuff like that.
Especially in this offense with all the stuff they're doing moving around. So I think 100% really fits what they want to do.
Especially when he had those times where he shaped the whole offensive line on a certain way. Yeah. Just to help them protect and help them get out and move. So most
100%. 100%.
Right. This one, question 2. Mr. Logan Paulsen, we know the base defense is nickel, but let's say the linebacker group or the DB group overpowers the others, and we play more traditional base or we play more dime. What are the advantages?
So that's a really good question. We're going to start with a little bit of a breakdown, but let's talk about, Fred, and you can probably answer this question.
Yep.
Nickel, there's 2 linebackers on the field, 5 DBs.
Yep.
Traditional base, there would be 3 linebackers and 4 DBs. That's kind of like old school, trying to
old
stop
school,
the run.
Yep.
And then dime is where you have 1 linebacker and 6 DBs, right?
Yep.
And so basically what he's asking, in my opinion, is, like, what are the advantages of having another linebacker as opposed to a DB on the field? And let's just talk about that here. We're going to look at Jamin Davis, right?
All right.
Jamin Davis, I think, is one of the most athletic linebackers in football based on his pro day measurements, right?
Yep.
44-inch vertical, 4.440, all that crazy stuff, right? But he's a big guy. He's 240 pounds, got long arms, 34-inch arms. This is what you get. When a linebacker has to take on a guard, this is where they live, man.
Yes.
This is what they do. They can butt up this guard, get out of here, and then make a tackle. They are much better run football players, right?
Yep.
However, the NFL is kind of shifting. It's kind of changing gears. It's changing direction. They're trying to get everybody spread out. I mean, look at all these wide receivers here, right? We got 4 wide receivers running around the formation. We are going to force your linebacker, Jamin Davis, to cover our number 1 wide receiver here in Kirkland. And I think, like, while Jamin has gotten much better in coverage, and I don't know all about his leverage here and the technique exactly. Athletically, he can kind of hang, but this is a mismatch, right?
From the day.
From the jump, and that's not a knock on Jamin. That's just life in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
Receivers are better in space than linebackers, and that's a pretty good play right. That's a pretty tight window, right?
Yeah.
So let's say that, okay, we understand that. Teams want to get coverage. So we put an extra DB on the field. We're going to use our guy, Bobby McCain, right?
Yeah.
The problem about putting another DB on the field is you run into guys, like, I got to take on an offensive lineman. And I hate to break it to you, this is a bad look, right? This is not a matchup. It's not a matchup that favors Bobby, right?
Yep.
So Bobby's going to get blocked down the field here because that's not what he does. So you make yourself a little bit more susceptible to the running game, right? While he's a much better coverage player. Here he is matching up with Brown here from Philadelphia, matching this crossing route. And you would never feel comfortable with a linebacker doing this, but he can do it. So it's about finding this balance of saying, do we want a good run player on the field, or do we want a good pass defender on the field? And I think where the NFL is going, we've talked about this a little already, is finding guys who can play both. Right? And there's one guy on the team who can do both.
Yes.
And I think he does it at a high level. Here he is. He's essentially playing linebacker.
Yep.
He's at the linebacker spot. You got your 2 linebackers in here, 1, 2. They are in dime right now. And the only reason they can do this is because Cam has the arm length and the physicality to say, I'm not afraid to fit this run and tackle a 230-pound running back. Get out of here.
Yes.
That is a skill set that is very unique to him. Do we have anybody else on the roster that can do that? I don't know, but he is excellent. Here he is. He's playing middle linebacker right now.
Yeah.
And this isn't like a pass formation. They have 2 tight ends in the field.
It's heavy.
Like, he's in there. He's ready to rock and roll, right? Yeah, he's strong. And watch this tight end here. And there are not many safeties in the NFL that can do this. This tight end says, I'm going to come and give Cam some business. And Cam says, no thanks, bro. I'm going to headbutt you up. I'm going to make this tackle. And so having a guy that can do that, have this skill to defeat blocks on the field at all times is great. But the thing that makes Cam truly special is that he can match up in pass coverage, right?
Yep.
You can say, this is Jones up in
Aaron Jones.
He's basically a receiver, right?
Yep.
You feel good about this matchup. If I had to walk a linebacker out here, I'd be shaking in my boots a little bit as a defensive coordinator, right?
Yep.
So get him out there, have him match up, and I don't worry about him making tackles in space, reading coverage. You see the dexterity, you see the foot speed. Love that, man, because that's what he does. So my question to you, here he is matched up with the receiver, right? Again, how many linebackers do you feel comfortable matched up with a receiver? Watch his footwork. I know this ball is completed, but watch him match this concept. No wasted movement, much better in space, tight window throw. That's what he gives you. Do we have other guys in the roster that can do that? That's my question.
Maybe Percy Butler.
Maybe Percy Butler. Can Quan do it?
Quan can do it.
Defoe,
Yeah.
right? Those types of guys. So do we have enough guys, is my question, to say we feel good about 6-1 versus running formations?
Yeah.
I don't know. And that's what training camp's for. That's what this whole offseason is for. Maybe Khaleke Hudson fills that role, kind of that Buffalo nickel. We saw him match up in that spot a little during OTAs and minicamp. But again, long time to go. So that to me is the thing with that dime versus base versus nickel is how do we make sure we are not making ourselves open to running it through like the run, while also making sure we're good at stopping the pass. So that to me is the big thing here, and we are lucky we have a guy like Cam Curl here to get that done. Just can somebody else step up and make that happen, because it's a tough skill set to master, right, Fred?
Oh yeah, it's speed versus power.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I think we got one more question, right? Is it on there?
We got a surprise question.
Surprise! That's right. So in the comments, man, the fans love us digging on Fred. They love us getting after you, right? And so they keep looking for questions, right? How do we not talk about Fred's bench press at the combine? He only did 1 rep, right? Or Logan, is it true that Santana only bench pressed 135 on his pro day? I don't think this is true, Tana.
So I never bench pressed at all.
At all. Right?
Yeah.
And my comment here is I don't care what a DB bench press is. I don't care at all.
Yeah.
Right? Because Fred, why?
Because I'm not the bodybuilder. You can't for a football player.
We're paying for football
Go
players.
to Gold's Gym if you're looking for a bodybuilder. Right? And guess what? Yet again, I did nothing at the combine.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I did it at my pro day. This is what happened.
Yeah.
I come in, I got a lot of fanfare behind me. They cranking it up. They got the weight bench sitting right there. I pick it up off of there. I give it one good tug. I rack it and tell them come watch me run, because they ain't come to watch me lift no weights.
But then what'd you run?
Not no football. I ran way faster than that.
Forever. No, but I actually wanted to bench press.
Yeah.
You know, at our pro day. I didn't work at the combine now also, but my pro day, me and Reggie Bo, we was ready. We would have threw 135, man. I was benching ridiculous numbers when I was coming
I
out of
remember
school.
lifting with you. You were strong. So this is surprising
Yeah,
to me
that right there. I do that. I was just telling my son the other day, he's going into the 9th grade, and he just told me he benched 125 5 times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, your goal coming out of 9th grade should be able to throw 155 or better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
135? Come on. 225, able to ask that question? Yeah, but
That's a grocery bag out of Costco. 135. Huh?
So and also I would say this. You weighed 170, right, at your pro day?
171.
171.
Yeah.
And you were benching 225?
Yes.
That is a bench press that is 1.35 times body weight.
Yeah.
So if I were to do that same bench press, that would be 360.
Yeah.
So just to give you an idea, for body weight, that's all right for my guy Fred. Now, could he have been heavier or whatever? We'll talk about that more later.
No, I didn't need to be.
But,
I'm going to give you 3 DBs.
okay.
Darryl Green, drafted, signed here at 173.
173.
I came at 172.
Yep.
4, 175.
It's a short
It seems
list.
to be okay.
It's a short list. So, yeah, in
get
answer to
that
your
forward,
question,
you know?
in answer to this guy's question, Gary Birch, I don't really care what DB's bench.
Yeah.
I don't care what receivers bench. I want him to run fast, catch the football, and make plays on the football. And that's what you guys did at a super high level. Yeah. So, guys, thank you so much for all your questions. Please keep leaving comments, and please make sure you check out the show each and every week.
Sports cars, not pickup trucks.